Hi, McArthur. Can you hear me?
So yeah,
Perfect. How's it going?
I'm pretty good, pretty good. You?
Good. I'm doing good. Alrighty. Okay, so what's our goal for this session? What do you want to try to get accomplished today?
I was just like going over the monologues and stuff.
Yeah, okay.
And so like the muscle one I was reading and then the weight of wisdom one I'm still trying to get
Mm,
down. I'm trying to get my old master sensei voice down.
nice. Okay.
Uh
Do you have somebody in mind that you could kind of channel like a character inspiration for that one? Like a Mr. Miyagi or something, like a person that you could kind of use as a
like
model.
uh like one person that like came to mind when I first read it was the old I can't think of his name. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, their dad,
Oh, okay,
Splinter
yeah.
was like the old movie Splinter. For some reason, like his voice was came to
Sure.
mind.
Oh, I like that. That's a
Uh,
cool one.
but yeah, I was still working on that one. I'm still
Nice.
working on that one.
Okay, so why don't we take a look at it?
Okay.
All right,
All
so show me what you've been doing with
right.
it, and then we can, tweak or adjust as needed.
Um, I will try my hardest. I went through like four different voices trying to like be like, oh, this is the one. This is the one. All right. Ah, I see it in your eyes. The doubt, the fear. You stand at edge of something greater than yourself, and yet your hands tremble. That is natural. Fear is not your enemy, my child. It is your teacher, but only if you listen. You seek answers, yet you ask the wrong questions. You wish to know how to win. But have you asked if the battle is worth fighting? You wish to know your enemy, but have you taken the time to know yourself? I was like you once, young, reckless. I believed that strength alone could shape the world, that willpower alone could bend destiny. But wisdom is knowing when to fight and when to walk away, when to act and when to wait. I've seen warriors greater than you fall, not because they lacked skill, but because they lacked understanding. Power without purpose is a blade without a hilt, dangerous to all, including the one who wields it. You are at the crossroads now. One path leads to ruin, the other to greatness. I cannot choose for you. I can only guide you as the stars guide the sailor. But know this, whatever path you take, I have faith in you, even if you do not yet have faith in yourself. Now, go. Time will not wait for you. Yeah,
Nice. Okay. All right, so tell me, what are some of the things that you're doing that are different with your voice? Like, how would you identify them? Like, one thing is that it's a lower pitch, right? Um, Things like your pacing, your inflection, the patterns, the pauses. We've got a little bit of like a husky kind of quality in the voice. So, what would you say to kind of identify those changes you're making if you were going to try to, process out what you're doing to create those sounds?
I would definitely say like my breath. Like I feel like I'm holding on to it. And it's just like my like I feel it in my stomach and yet I'm like trying to make sure it comes out very I guess like tight and like against like my throat. It feels like it's coming against my throat and like ruffiness with it.
Yeah.
And it's like after like running out that breath, it's like I like try and like pause like as an old man would like trying to catch his breath in a sense.
Nice. Yeah.
Uh,
I
that's like
like
the
that, catching his breath.
biggest. Yeah, that's like the biggest thing I feel different is just like my breathing and like my breaths, and then like trying to hold that into a sense to
Sure.
lower it and have it have like that rough and gruffness to it in a sense like he's so old that like he has to catch his breath, but also he's so old that like his throat hurts when he talks in a sense.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I like it. Yeah, like maybe he's a smoker or he's, you know, he
Yeah,
has
because
like a dry cough that's
it
chronic.
definitely went to like old Asian master. Like I was like how
Mm,
you like said Mr. Miyagi. I was like Mr.
yeah.
Miyagi, or even like old man Jackie Chan, and like or
Yeah.
like Jackie Chan when he's in like in the Drunken Master, like his master from those old movies. And I'm like, oh, they're
Hmm.
always rolling up their own cigarettes or smoking out of a pipe or
Yeah.
something. So
Right.
it's just like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, absolutely. Um, so then, yeah, like you've got a clear vision then for that. And it's like, okay, like that gives you an idea. And, you know, I feel like too, that like smoking just used to be everyone did it, and so,
Yeah.
um, yeah, so it's like older people, from a certain time period, it's like almost all of them would have that kind of like smoker's voice kind of element. Um, I like the idea of like catching your breath because sometimes too, like older people will have, they could have had an accident where, their lungs were injured, or they could have like a chronic cough from asthma or something. There are all kinds of things that can affect that. And so I think it creates a really interesting, kind of take that it's showing like this person isn't in their prime anymore, but they have these years of wisdom that they can impart. And then, you know, that younger mentee character can take those years of wisdom and apply all the knowledge,
Yeah,
like their
yeah.
body is failing them, but they still have that wisdom instilled in who they are. So it's pretty cool. Nice. So then thinking about this script, um, anything really stand out to you that's like, oh, this is a really important moment, or I want to be sure that the audience really catches this. What would you say are the key elements, the key moments in this speech?
I would say like kind of like the second paragraph in a sense when he's like, you wish to know how to win, but you have asked if the battle is worth fighting. You wish to know your enemy, but you have taken the time to know yourself. And I feel like
Mm,
that's like really important in a sense of like
yeah.
he knows the fighting, but he also is like he wants his mentee in a sense to live a life that he wants to live and not a life
Hmm.
that he thinks he should live in a sense.
Yeah. Love it. Awesome. Good. Yeah. Um, so that's going to be something that you really want to give a little more gravity to and show that that's really an important moment. Um, what do you think happened right before this?
I would say, like, from the way he's explaining it, I wouldn't say necessarily a fight, but I would necessarily say he's going off to fight or going off to like a battle or a war or
Mm.
something. And I feel like that's what happened is in a sense like he's about to let him go, but before he like lets him go, he doesn't want this person that he cares about to go fight in something that might be unnecessary to him now. Like he's like even when he said I was like young like you and reckless, and I feel like it's one of those where like he believes the person he cares about is doing this because every young person has like a more obligation to like their lands or like their country or something. So like he's going off to
Mm.
war or to this battle to go fight for that. And like the master's like you're fighting in a sense like you're fighting for a king or somebody that doesn't really know or care about you in a sense. And it's like, is
Ah,
it and it's like, is it worth fighting for for you, or
Hmm.
should you go and live like a life that you want to go live? And I feel like that's what kind of
Right.
happened right before this. And I feel like the master went to go talk to the one that he cares about instead of the mentee coming to talk to the master. I feel like he went and got him before he kind of left like everybody else in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and I think too, like sometimes young people just are naive and they think that like, oh, there's glory in fighting and stuff, and they don't understand the realities of what they're getting into, and then they get there and it's like they watch their friends die all around them and, all these horrors happening. Um, and so yeah, like the wise old master has lived a lot more life and knows these things and is saying like you don't have to do these things that like maybe he thinks he has to do. And he's like, you get to choose who you want to be. And maybe also it's like you're like saying like you're being used by these people who don't care about you. Um, and you can go out there and die and they won't care. They're just using you. And, what do you want to do with your life? Um, and then I think too, then there's a lot of like seriousness in that too. So like approaching it with a level of like, this is a really serious talk, so you might have moments that are a little bit lighter, but then having certain moments feel a little heavier and like, hey, you really need to hear this. This is important. Um, and then, so what do you want, your mentee, what do you want them to do, or how do you want them to respond to what you say?
I would say in this instance, I would just want them if to think about it, even if they leave now with like
Mm.
the regiment or regime, like while they're marching or something, or like while they're running
Yeah.
or whatever, then is to like ponder on it.
Okay.
And if he believes that once they get there, or even before they get there, he doesn't want to fight, he
Yeah.
will be okay with him just running the other direction or running right, left, and going to some unknown land or village and just living a life
Yeah.
out like that. And I feel like because even at the end, when he's like, whatever like path you take, I have faith in you. When he's like, and then
Hmm.
he tells him to go, time waits for no one. And I feel like that last line is kind of like, like this is all the time you have in your life. You're gonna either spend that time to go fight in this thing that might not that is a sense doesn't really affect you unless you go and die in it or go and take somebody else's life. Or you can go and spend this time of your youth building something else somewhere else, this community, this family. And even though you won't be with me anymore, like just know that I will always believe in you to be the person that I've helped raise you to become in a sense.
Hmm. Yeah.
So I would just think that he would want him to ponder on it, think about it hard, and then make his
Right.
own choice.
Yeah, you don't want him to just like take action without putting thought into it. You want him to decide what he wants,
Right.
not to just like mindlessly just obey, right? But to
Right.
actually think about what he wants to do. Yeah. Um, so just getting him to pause and really process this. I like that. Yeah. So you're just saying like slow down. Think about what you're doing. This is a big choice and it's going to affect the rest of your life. Um, nice, good. So what about like a beginning, middle, and end? So like when you find out he's about to leave to go like fight in this war or something, how does your character feel about that?
Um, I would definitely say the master feels, I wouldn't say sad, but I would say unease in the sense that he also sees that his student is second guessing and is kind of scared to go take a life because the first sentences I see doubt and fear in your eyes. And so I feel like at the beginning he feels like saddened and uneased that he kind of hasn't had this talk with him before in a sense, and he kind of hasn't letting him know like what I guess the real world and what war is and what it does to you. And I feel like he's like uneased and a little bit saddened, but he knows like
this is the last time I might be able to like talk to him in a sense. So he's
Yeah.
flustered or like I guess you would say like anxious in a sense, like I have to talk to him about
Right.
this right now.
So anxious, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and then
I
what do
would
you feel
say
like is your emotion in the middle and at the end?
in the middle, I would say very calm.
Okay.
And I say that in a sense like I feel like they're now like either standing in front of each other eye to eye or sitting next to each other, and he's just parting very fast in the sense of what he wants to say. So he's choosing his words very uh like very pinpoint wise. Like he's making sure the words that he pick mean something every time he hears them. And so I feel like
Hmm.
he's very calm and he's like letting him digest the words that are coming out of his mouth.
Right. Yeah, so he's really thinking about what he wants to say before he says
Yeah.
it and making sure that, so he's like careful with his wording because he wants to be sure that he says exactly what he means and he's trying to, make his mentee understand. Yeah. Um, what do you think is your emotion like right at the end?
I would say like happy tears slash proud
Oh,
in a
I love
sense
that. Yeah.
that he got to talk to him, he got to park this on him, and he's just also proud of like the person he's come to in a sense that he is willing to go also fight for like the people next to him, but also he also feels proud that he knows like he knows that he's not just blindly following something in a sense that when he first walked in the room, he knew he was very doubtful and fearful, and he's very proud in a sense that like and happy
Mhm.
that he got to talk to him one last time, and very proud that he knows that his student and his mentee and this person he cares about is not just like I'm gonna blindly follow somebody. I will think about it, and I feel like he
Mhm.
sees it towards the end that he kind of got to him and kind of was like just kind of knows that he's gonna think about it and ponder it on while he walks away.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, good. All right, let's go ahead and try it again. Now that we have a really clear vision.
Yeah.
Ah, I see in your eyes the doubt, the fear. You stand at the edge of something greater than yourself, and yet your hands tremble. That is natural. Fear is not your enemy, my child. It is your teacher, but only if you listen. You seek answers, yet you ask the wrong questions. You wish to know how to win, but have you asked if the battle is worth fighting? You wish to know your enemy, but have you taken the time to know yourself? I was like you once, young, reckless. I believed that strength alone could shape the world, that willpower alone could bend the destiny. But wisdom is knowing when to fight and when to walk away, when to act and when to wait. I have seen warriors greater than you fall, not because they lacked skill, but because they lacked understanding. Power without purpose is a blade without a hilt, dangerous to all, including the one who wields it. You are at the crossroads now. One path leads to ruin, the other to greatness. I cannot choose for you. I can only guide you as the stars guide the sailor. But know this, whatever path you take, I have faith in you, even if you do not have faith in yourself. Now, go. Time will not wait for you.
Nice. Good. Yeah, and I feel like at the end too, it's like you sense that like this is his destiny, that he's about to embark on. And maybe like you wish that you had more time with him, but you're like your time is now. Like I have to let you go. Yeah, that was awesome. Good. So what did you like about that take? How was it different for you?
Um, I thought more, I guess like more of like trying to have those like emotions come out of like the voice of like a deeper, smokier, catchier breath voice.
Mm.
I feel like I could do that a little bit better.
Okay.
But I also was thinking of like where to take the pauses and like where to take the breaths and then like which sections I felt were like most important in a sense of like
Hmm.
I wanted to pause like right before that and
Hmm.
then like kind of have like those words and like that line to like mean something in a sense. Like how like in the book it's like if something is important or like scary, you take that pause and then it's like, oh, people are like thinking of like what's to come next and then they kind of know like that part's going to be more important or that part's going to be a little bit scarier. And so I felt like bringing that to this in a sense, like taking that pause and then like that next line is going to be very important for that person to hear and for like the reader or the watcher to like understand and listen to is like, oh, they want that person to like know like the, but have you taken the time to know yourself in a sense? I like that
Yeah.
line. And then like kind of like the last section, I like that one. And then the whole power without purpose is a blade without a hilt, dangerous to all, including the one who wields it. And I like that line. And I
Hmm.
wanted those lines to kind of like have an impact of like I've said all this, pause, and then I'm gonna say this line with a little more
Hmm.
girth to it and like more purpose
Yeah.
and oomph to it. So
What if we did it like the wise old master is like on his deathbed and he like knows that this'll be the last thing he ever tells his mentee.
I'll be feeling sad the whole way through. Like I
I
couldn't
don't know
see you
that
when you
like
come
the
back.
person who's passing away, like he might be like okay with it. Like this is my time, you know?
I feel you. I feel you.
And you know, the young like mentee, he might not even know that, but like the wise old sensei could just like have a sense that he's like, I won't
Mm,
see you again. Um, you know, and that he knows his time is near kind of a thing.
gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah, that could just like be a little twist to it. I just thought we could try it and see what you think. You want to try it?
I will try it.
Okay.
Excuse me.
And it could even be like that the mentee is like, I don't know if I'm ready to like go and fight, you know, and that you're like, you're okay. Like you've got this. You're ready. Um, you know, so yeah, just like a little twist we could try.
All right, all right. Okay. All right. I see it in your eyes. The doubt, the fear. You stand at the edge of something greater than yourself, and yet your hands tremble. That is natural. Fear is not your enemy, my child. It is your teacher, but only if you listen. You seek answers, yet you ask the wrong questions. You wish to know how to win, but have you asked if the battle is worth fighting? You wish to know your enemy, but have you taken the time to know yourself? I was like you once, young, reckless. I believed that strength alone could shape the world, that willpower alone could bend destiny. But wisdom is knowing when to fight and when to walk away, when to act and when to wait. I have seen warriors greater than you fall, not because they lacked skill, but because they lacked understanding. Power without purpose is a blade without a hilt, dangerous to all, including the one who wields it. You are at the crossroads now. One path leads to ruin, the other to greatness. I cannot choose for you. I can only guide you as the stars guide the sailor. But know this, whatever path you take, I have faith in you, even when you do not yet have faith in yourself. Now, go. Time will not wait for you.
Nice. Yeah. Good. I feel like you can have moments that have a little bit more urgency, like maybe like your mentee tries to interrupt you and be like, "Oh no, like, like and you're like, "Let me get this out." Like you could have moments where you're a little more firm about it. Um kind of thinking about like how he would be responding and if he tried to like interject or if he tried to just like shrug off what you're saying and you're like this is important, listen to me. um so I like to always think about how the other person might be responding, what facial expressions they might make, and um it makes it a little more active if it feels a little more like a conversation. Yeah. So think
Gotcha.
about like things that the mentee might say, and then like say the next line as though you're responding to that, or that he starts to like be like, "Oh, I'm gonna call for, a doctor or something," and you're like, "No, like I need you to hear this. This is important, stay." Um, so thinking about how you might interact with that person. Yeah, can we try that?
Mm, okay. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Mm.
Ah, I see it in your eyes. The doubt, the fear. You stand at the edge of something greater than yourself, and yet your hands tremble. That is natural. Fear is not your enemy, my child. It is your teacher, but only if you listen. You seek answers, yet you ask the wrong questions. You wish to know how to win, but have you asked if the battle is worth fighting? You wish to know your enemy, but have you taken the time to know yourself? I was like you once, young, reckless. I believed that the strength alone could shape the world, that willpower alone could bend destiny. But wisdom is knowing when to fight and when to walk away, when to act and when to wait. I have seen warriors greater than you fall, not because they lacked skill, but because they lacked understanding. Power without purpose is a blade without a hilt, dangerous to all, including the one who wields it. You are at the crossroads now. One path leads to ruin, the other to greatness. I cannot choose for you. I can only guide you as the stars guide the sailor. But know this, whatever path you take, I have faith in you, even if you do not yet have faith in yourself. Now go. Time will not wait for you.
Nice. Good. How'd that feel?
It definitely felt different. Like I was like trying to like think of like, oh, okay, wait, this is where he would like butt in, or like this is what his face would look like when I said
Hmm.
this.
Yeah.
And it was very different. But it was like very like I'd be like, oh, okay, I see that. Okay, wait.
Yeah, we
And
got
I
some
would,
different
yeah.
perspectives. One thing I that stood out to me that hadn't before was this time I really noticed towards the beginning when you're like, you want to know this, but this information. You want to know this, but this information. So it's like he asked the question, like, how do I beat this enemy? Like they're too strong. What do I do? Um, so it's like you are answering questions that he's already asked. Did you notice
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that it's
I
like
see.
he
Yeah.
asked you specific questions and you're like, all right, like you asked me this, but that's not the right question. You know, the answer to that question is not so simple. So that stood out to me a lot more, that it was like he came seeking specific answers, and then you're like, you're asking the wrong questions. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. I see what
You
you're
kind
saying.
of see that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was something that just like landed really differently for me this time. So I
Gotcha.
thought like doing more with that.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah. I agree though. It felt very different this time. And it felt a lot more like active and like it had more shifts, like dramatic shifts for me. Um, and it did feel a little more like momentum and like where's it gonna go next? That I didn't feel like I knew where it was going and it would
Mm.
surprise me. Yeah. So I feel like when you have it be more interactive, it feels more like a scene where you're playing off the other character and it felt a lot more like you're actively trying to convince him or you're actively going after something the whole time and it felt like it had a lot more momentum and it felt like it went by a lot faster to me too. Like it just felt like I got really sucked into it. So yeah, I really liked that. So I would say keep that feeling because that worked really beautifully.
Gotcha, gotcha. Copy that,
Nice.
copy that.
Do you want to do this one again or do you want to look at a different script? Do you feel like you know how to practice this one?
I'm feeling pretty good with this one. I'm feeling pretty good with
Great.
this one.
Okay.
One of the ones I did want to look at is the it's not like I care or anything.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
That
let's do
one
it.
was very shifty. I was like, okay,
Shifty. I like it. Okay.
all right. Yeah, this one was this one was like up there with the old master one, just in a sense of like I was like,
Yeah.
did I shift perspective on that one right or feelings on that one right? Yeah, this one was okay.
Okay.
All right. What are you looking at me like that for? I didn't ask to be here, okay? I just happened to be passing by and I definitely didn't come because I was worried about you or anything. Pff, as if. It's just, you're so hopeless sometimes, you know? Someone's gotta make sure you don't get yourself killed doing something stupid. Not that I care or anything. It's just, forget it. Look, I know I'm not good at this kind of thing. The whole feelings thing, it's embarrassing, okay? But just don't do anything reckless, all right? I'd be really mad if something happened to you. That's all. And don't you dare bring this up later. I will deny it.
Nice. Okay. So I want to know a little bit more about your circumstance that you've crafted. So who are you? Who are you talking to? And what's your relationship to them?
So I felt like these people were very close,
Hmm.
extremely close. Like they've known each other for a minute. And then like my circumstances was more like they were kind of like talking to each other at the beginning of the day, and then like they probably had an argument of like doing something that was like very dangerous, and then like the person I'm playing like walked away from it, but then like they rode back on like their bike or drove by back on their car saying they weren't worried. We were very like, oh my gosh, let me make sure like this person did not do anything crazy or dumb or didn't go through with it. And like that's
Hmm.
kind of like what brought them back to the setting or place or location that they're at right now. And then like he just kind of goes off on this person, but in a very caring way. And there's a lot
Sure.
of mixed emotions inside.
Yeah.
They're all, but I feel like overall they're just very happy that they're still here and they didn't go and
Mm.
do something dumb or go and get hurt in a sense for it.
Okay. So how do you feel about the person you're talking to right at the very top, like right at the beginning?
Annoyed. I feel like this
Annoyed.
person is annoyed. In a sense, like I feel like when they like drove by or walked by or rode their bike by, like the person they're talking to definitely said something snarky to them. Like, oh, look who's back, or oh, I thought you didn't care, or something. And then like that's why they're like, oh, what are you looking at me like that for? I didn't ask to be here, okay? And it's just like they come up with the excuse like I was just passing by, or I had to go to the store and I came and checked on you type excuse. And I feel like they were like annoyed but also caught off guard in the sense that they got caught like caring and like checking in on this person.
Yeah. Nice. Good. So what do you think happened right before this that caused you to like find them and say this to them?
I definitely feel like this person was definitely just like in their living room chilling, and they're just
Okay.
like flipping through TV channels or
Yeah.
like different streaming services, and they just can't find like what they like want to watch. And it's because like
Mm,
they're secretly subconsciously like worried about this person that they just kind of had this argument with earlier in the day, and they're like,
sure.
let me go check. And all of they like got into the car or went outside and walked 3 blocks down or something. And
Yeah.
so I just feel like it was just like that gnawing, like worrisome feeling of this person that they deeply, deeply care about.
Yeah. Yeah. Or it could be like, you had an argument with them and then like somebody makes a comment to you about them that's like, oh man, like they're having a real rough day. Like, I couldn't believe the way they snapped at me. And then you like are like, oh, I should probably go find them. Like you could
Yeah.
have something that sort of like triggers that for you.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I feel you on
Or
that.
like you're watching a show and it reminds you of them, like a moment that just spurs you to action.
Yeah. I gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah. And then so how do you want this person to respond to what you're saying?
Mhm.
Like, how do you hope that they react to what you say to them?
I would feel like on the surface level, they were hoping this person, in a sense, acts nonchalant, like, oh, like this person knows, like, and it's just like like on like a surface level, I would hope like this person is thinking that the person that they're angry at or went to go check up on at is not like they know they're gonna make a big deal out of it. It's like I feel like that's just how their relationship is. And like on surface level, they know that this person is probably gonna like nag or like not nag, but uh like make fun of in a sense, like in
Okay.
their own little way on the surface level, but subconsciously I feel like on a deeper level, this person is hoping they also like understand and feel like, oh, relief. Like, I'm so glad you are okay. But also, like, the other person is thinking, oh, I'm so glad this person still cares enough to come and check in on me. But I feel like on surface level, they would definitely probably make fun of each other and then, like, yeah, that would pass.
Yeah, and that could be like their rapport, that
Yeah.
they just joke around. Like that's just what they do. They like tease each other and pick at each other because they're like, siblings kind of a thing where
Yeah.
it's like they're so close that they just can make fun of each other and tease each other, and that's just how they communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Good. So let's go ahead and we're gonna try that one again.
I'll be that. Oh, what are you looking at me like that for? I didn't ask to be here, okay? I just happened to be passing by, and I definitely didn't come because I was worried about you or anything. As if. It's just, you're so hopeless sometimes, you know? Someone's gotta make sure you don't get yourself killed doing something stupid. Not that I care or anything, it's just, forget it. Look, I know I'm not good at this kind of thing. The whole feelings thing. It's embarrassing, okay? But just don't do anything reckless, all right? I'd be really mad if something happened to you, that's all. And don't you dare bring this up later. I will deny it.
Nice. Good. Okay. So, kind of again with this one, I want you to imagine like the interjections, the facial expressions, like how the person you're talking to would be reacting to what you're saying.
Hmm. Copy that, copy that.
And then like keep going and like think of like where in your dialogue they might try to say something or do something. So, like, where do you think those moments would be? Like, where do you feel like there's a really big shift for your character?
I definitely feel um like the first paragraph where I was worried about you or anything, and then right before the as if they definitely said something right here, like, oh, you do care, and then that's right, they go like as if, and
Yeah.
then right after that is just like again, I feel like they would try to say something, but he's just like he like my character just kind of like cuts them off. It's just and like that's or not cut them off, but it's like they both say something at the same time, and that's why it's like they go to say something. He says it's just, but like the other character comes to say something, and that's why you have like
Yeah.
that slight pause right there, and then he like goes off to like keep like saying what he has to say, and
Hmm.
then the second like or like the like third interjection I feel like the other character would have is right between the third paragraph and like the
Yeah.
fourth line is I feel like when he's like talking about the whole feelings thing and everything, like I feel like that's where it kind of gets a little not more serious, but like where the person I'm talking to like what is like kind of like smiling and chuckling, but they also like walk up to like touch their shoulder or like
Yeah.
kind of like give them a hug, and that's why he's like talk about the whole feelings thing, and then like he like kind of like steps back or whatever, and is like and like
Mm.
tries to reiterate like I'm really mad at you in this sense, and then like he says
Yeah.
if you ever bring this up, I'll just deny it later, and like I feel like that's where like the other person tried to like kind of like just walk closer to them, like kind of have more like a
Mm.
physical like hug or like hand on the shoulder thing, or like they like try to
Yeah.
say like I know you care, and then like that's where he just tries to like kind of reiterate like I'm still mad at you.
Yeah. Hmm. Sure. Absolutely. So then, yeah, so then what do you think is your emotion at the beginning, middle, and end?
So beginning, definitely they're both annoying each other, like just
Okay.
like they're both repertory kind of thing annoying.
Yeah.
And the middle, I will definitely say happy in a sense, but also
Happy.
very
Yeah.
calm because they know they're safe. So they both kind of
Sure.
know they're both safe. They're both kind of unhurt, unharmed. They didn't do anything stupid.
Yeah.
But it's an angry happy, and they want to know that they're not there to check on you, but I'm here to check on you, and I'm glad that you're safe, and I'm glad that neither one of us like hurt each other like emotionally or
Yeah.
physically or anything like that. And then
Yeah.
towards the end, I feel like it's just like happy tears again, like they're just both happy to just kind of like be there,
Hmm.
but it's very
Nice.
dramatic as well. And it's just like I feel like it's very dramatic for both of them. And it's
Sure.
like oh, I'm still angry at you, but whatever. And like it's just
Yeah.
like yeah,
But yeah, you're like, I'm still annoyed, but I love you,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, cool. I love it. Yeah, let's go ahead and try that again. Do you have like a character inspiration or like a person you feel like you could sort of see play this?
I did not. I did not. If I would say C, play this
Hmm.
right now, the first two people that jump in my head is Psych, Sean and Gus. I feel like this is a
Nice.
conversation, like this is something
Yeah.
to come up with. Like
Yeah,
I
I
feel
love
like
that kind
Sean
of
would go and do
relationship.
something, and Gus would come back and like check on him or something. Like I definitely feel
Yeah.
like
Oh,
these
I
two.
love that. That's cute. Yeah. That's a good one. Cool. Yeah, that they're, best friends. They're like brothers. They love each other, but they bicker and,
Yeah.
pick at each other and drive each other nuts sometimes. Yeah. Cool. All right. Yeah. So let's go ahead and try that one more time.
Oh, what are you looking at me like that for? I didn't ask to be here, okay? I just happened to be passing by, and I definitely didn't come because I was worried about you or anything. Pfft, as if. It's just you're so hopeless sometimes, you know? Someone's got to make sure you don't get yourself killed doing something stupid. Not that I care or anything. It's just, oh, forget it. Look, I know I'm not good at this kind of thing. The whole feelings thing. It's embarrassing, okay? But just don't do anything reckless, all right? I'd be really mad if something happened to you. That's all. And don't you dare bring this up later. I will deny it.
Cool. Good. How do you like that take?
Um, it was good. I liked it. I liked it a
Yeah,
lot. Definitely thinking of like Sean and Gus like going through it. The only hard part thinking of it like going with Sean and Gus is like both of them definitely wear their emotions on their sleeves.
they
I feel
do.
like the whole feelings thing wouldn't be hard for them. So, like that was like I was like, oh okay, wait, that wouldn't be hard for them, but keep going.
But the thing is, like, it might be uncomfortable though, and they don't want to, you
True
know?
point, true point.
So like they maybe do wear their emotions on their sleeve, but like maybe they're embarrassed by that. Maybe they don't, you know, want to be that way. Maybe they're uncomfortable, and so I still think, you can still say that. I think all kinds of people, say things that are kind of like contrasting with, what their feelings are showing, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Like thinking about it, I am like, dang, like the first time I remember, I guess them not showing each other or telling them everything is like, I think Gus got like a girlfriend and like they're getting really close. And then like Sean started acting out. And then like Sean's dad is like, Gus, you're like the last person that hasn't left him yet. Like when me and his mom was getting divorced, you were there. When he broke up with this person, you were there.
Yeah.
And like Gus is like, oh, he's not just acting like his old self. He is scared because he thinks I'm gonna leave him. And I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, this is such a good episode. But
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, like really powerful insights like that. Yeah. Yeah, awesome. I really liked it. It gave it like a little more mm, I was gonna say like sass, but I don't think it's that. It's like a clapping back kind of a feel,
mm,
like
I feel, yeah,
and like a defensiveness to it. Like there were just some um other things like vibes that came through that I was like, oh, I didn't hear it that way before. So it gave me a totally different perspective on it. So I really liked that. So I'd love for you to record these two this week because I think you found some really just like, gems in there. And like really different perspectives and sounds than I've really heard you bring out before, which is great when we find like totally new um, acting notes that come through, like emotions that you haven't really explored or showed before. Yeah, and I think the character inspiration is really helping. So I really liked that. So keep that and go ahead and record these two this week because I felt like we found some really good new, emotions and ways to express things. So really nice.
we'll
Great
do.
work
Copy
today.
that. Copy that. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, send me the recording when you're done with it, okay?
Will do. Will
That was
do.
great. Really nice work today, MacArthur. I was so pleased with that. I love when it's like you find something that you haven't found before. So that was really cool. I liked it. So keep up the great work. That was awesome. Alrighty.